All right, Kaisa and The Weeknd are the big winners at this weekend's Juno Awards, which were plagued by out-of-tune singers, awkward staging, and production problems. But there were some good points as well. Joining us now in studio is TV and radio host Laurie Logan. So first off, let's just talk about the host and how he did.
Jacob Hogard, yeah, from Headley. I actually thought he did a pretty good job. There were definitely a few little slip-ups which he blamed on the teleprompter. But I mean, I thought that was a pretty good save. Live TV is not always the easiest. And he also started out the show with a really great performance and ended the show.
Yeah,
with,
I like the way that he ended the show. It was pretty funny. Got quite a few laughs out of the audience.
Yeah, and his little skit that he did with Kaisa wearing the gold, you know, wrestling onesie was also hilarious.
Very Canadian.
Yeah.
All right, and now some of the big winners. Kaisa, I don't think anyone was too surprised. You know, she was a big hit this in the past year.
Yeah, and the Junos really is about celebrating new artists. So she won 3 different awards, put on a really great performance, and I think we're going to see a lot more from her in the very near future. She's actually coming to town next month, so she'll be at the Commodore Ballroom on April 20th.
All right. What about the other winners? Any of them surprise you?
Well, you know, Magic, they actually ended up taking home an award for Breakthrough Group and Single of the Year. Single of the Year for Rude, which was a really huge song, but a lot of people were thinking that maybe Drake should have won that award, and Drake's been a little shafted by the Junos.
Yeah, and like you said, they kind of like focus on the newer artists, right? The emerging artists, or at least it seemed to be the focus last night.
Yeah, and I mean, Drake hasn't shown up to the Juno since 2011.
Yeah.
Since he hosted, and he also hasn't won very many awards, and maybe that has something to do with it.
All right.
I don't know.
Now, lots of performances last night, some really good ones, some that needed some improvement.
Yeah.
The one that sticks out the most for me was Deadmau5.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was going on, but the vocals for that were just awful.
Yeah, Colleen D'Agostino, his female vocalist. I mean, granted, that is not an easy song to sing.
No, but it sounds like a cat screeching.
Yeah, I was a little worried that some glass was going to break in my house, but it was okay. It's just Deadmau5 has been talking about this massive tour that he's about to go on, and you know, this huge stage show that he's planning with 16 different tracks, and then to see this, it was,
you know what? It's unfortunate because I really like that song.
Yeah.
When I hear it on the radio, but I think it was evident that it has a lot of production value that goes into it. It's not a live performance kind of song.
Yeah, they might have had a better luck with a different song for sure.
Yeah, all right. We also had the Arkells and Alanis Morissette, who everyone loves.
How can you not love Alanis? And for the Arkells, it was really special because they're Hamilton boys. So, I mean, it was great to see them up there. But Alanis Morissette just proved as well that she is, you know, one of the queens of Canadian music, and it was really heartwarming to see her up there doing her montage and being inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and I liked how she did kind of a rendition of all of her music. She didn't necessarily kind of focus on one, because when we think of Alanis, that's what we think of.
Yeah.
Or those hits that she sang last night.
Yeah, and if you really love her as well, this is the 20th anniversary of Jagged Little Pill, her huge album.
Has it really been 20 years?
I know. Feeling a little old, but she's going to be remastering the album, and she's going to be releasing some writings as well with the album, so that's on the way.
All right, amazing. Now, the one thing that, I mean, I noticed, and I think a lot of critics have noticed, you mentioned Drake wasn't there, but a lot of other, you know, big Canadian stars who just weren't there.
No, Justin.
It's really kind of lackluster then.
Yeah, I mean, but how do you draw these big stars away from Dubai, for example, where Bublé was? I mean, I took a look at his Twitter page last night to see where he was, and he had a picture of himself in the desert with a hawk on his arm. You know, he's hawking in Dubai and on his way to South Africa. Justin Bieber's in California, and I mean, it's a little difficult to draw some of the bigger stars.
But I mean, I think that that's the problem with the Junos in itself, is that, you know, we have amazing Canadian talent.
Yes.
But they don't want to be here to be celebrated.
Yeah, that is the problem. But one thing that is great about the Junos is that the fact that it is touring to these different smaller cities in Canada really allows the average music lover to be part of a really magical weekend experience. So yeah, Bieber wasn't there and Drake wasn't there, but there's a lot of people in Hamilton that are you know, smiling today and really love the music.
Yeah, so. And one of the big winners that we haven't mentioned yet, The Weeknd, who you know, a lot of people will recognize this song, also featured in 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes. Yes, and after watching him perform last night, just made me realize that I need to get all of his albums and put that on with a big glass of red wine and maybe some chocolate-covered strawberries.
Yeah, but all you'll get from him is a performance, because I hear he's a little camera shy.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely a little camera shy, so it was nice to see him up there performing, and then after, in the press room, he refused to answer any press questions. He just released a small press statement, but it was good to see him up there regardless.
Yeah, I like his hair.
Yeah, it's really unique, isn't it?
It definitely sets him apart. And I mean, it kind of, yeah, I haven't seen a hairstyle like that before.
I became a huge fan of his last night, for sure, watching that performance.
Yeah, he was great. I think he had one of the strongest performances of the evening.
Yes.
All right. Well, Lori, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Another great night in Canadian music.